Hi, hier ist Caro von Rock Talent und wir sind heute hier mit Alex und Jack von All Time Low. Hey guys!
Hi!
Hi, German!
Hey, nice to have you again. So, welcome back to Cologne. It's been like 2 years, 3 days, a few hours, and probably a couple of minutes since you last been here.
I too have been counting.
You too have been counting.
3 days?
No, 2 years, 2 weeks, 3 days.
That's really close to last time, like date wise.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's
yes
the
it is.
exact number, Jack.
That's funny.
Well, last time you've been playing Eberg. This time you're at like music hall.
Yeah,
But how does it feel to be back here?
it's exciting. I'm really happy to be back with new music and actually, back touring again. I think it's been a while since we've come back and headlined. It's been really fun. We kicked the touring off for 2017 in the UK, and we just finished that tour a couple days ago, and then got out here to mainland Europe. So this is our first show back in Europe, and it's nice to be back in Germany. We always have a really good time here in Germany, and we've been really lucky over the years. Germany has always treated us really well and welcomed All Time Low. So it's nice to be back, and we're coming back to some of the smaller rooms. So
Yes.
I think they're all sold out, and it's gonna be intimate,
Yeah.
and sweaty, and
Yeah,
fun.
when I walked in today, I saw the venue, I remember that, and it was just, I just couldn't help but think that sold out is going to just be a crazy
You've
show.
played here before,
Yeah,
so
yeah, a
like
bunch of times.
way in the day
Yeah.
time.
So it's gonna be a good time.
Alright, so your second album within 14 years of band history is coming up in June. It's called The Last Young Renegade. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. It's a record that we worked on for the most of last year and a bit of the year before. We were sort of working on it in secrecy because we had signed a new record deal with Fueled by Ramen, and but we were still sort of completing our contract with Hopeless Records, who was our last label and our label for years and years. And obviously we still had a record out on that label, and we had a DVD coming out on that label, and so it was sort of this funny balance of like working on new music with the new label, but also finishing up the last record cycle with Hopeless, and so we did it all behind closed doors.
It kind of felt like there was less pressure too, doing it in secrecy, knowing we could take our time, we didn't have a...
Well, we had a lot of time to do it, and it was kind of, the new label wasn't pressuring us to turn something in. It was more about like, when it's ready, let us know. And so it just so happened to time out perfectly. We finished up everything with Hopeless, and we had a bunch of songs written, and we went in the studio and started kind of figuring it all out, and we came up with this sort of the body of work that we felt like fit the new album the best, and came up with a game plan to kind of try some new sounds and go back and kind of use these vintage analog sounds to sort of tie everything together and be sort of the icing on the cake. And it ended up being something really cool. I think we stumbled onto something really fun, and it still really feels like All Time Low to me, but with some new tricks.
Yeah.
So, and I think 14 years into a career, it's kind of important to do that, to try some new things.
So new label, new music, so I got a pre-listen to it.
Hey!
And I think it sounds quite different to what I was expecting from you to do.
Ah.
So it's not like in a bad way, but just like more grown up, less party rocky,
Right.
more like big melodies and thoughtful little melodies. So
Nice.
and you also used quite a lot of synths, like electronic sounds in it. Why did you decide to do so? Because there's quite a lot of bands doing that nowadays.
Yeah, I think for us it was a big thing. A lot of it was tied to the fact that I went back and I was listening to a lot of artists that inspired me when I was younger, and a lot of stuff that my parents I grew up on with my parents listening to. And a big part of it was that at the time when we started writing, Prince passed away and David Bowie passed away. And there were some really influential artists in my life that passed away, and then because of that I started listening to a lot of their back catalog, and then that got me, I kind of went down a rabbit hole of listening to The Cure and Depeche Mode and some other really like sort of bands from that era, and one of the conversations that we ended up having was like, how do we sort of bring some of that into what we do? Would that be cool? Would it even work? And so that was sort of
A lot of experimenting.
yeah, that's sort of what we did. We had all these songs written, and then we sort of started peppering in these analog sounds and all these old vintage synths and stuff like that. And we just felt like it kind of became something really cool, and it sort of, the record felt a little bit darker thematically and lyrically. And so those textures and those sounds kind of felt like they acted as a really cool aesthetic for the album. It's sort of like it feels like you're driving at night through like a neon city, and that's sort of like that's kind of where I was visually in my head every time I listen to some of the songs.
And another thing for us is, you know, we have 7 albums out, and our live show is so important to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the big deal for us was making sure we had songs that you know, the whole set didn't sound the same.
Yeah.
So we could play new songs that kind of were a different sound for us live, and just make the show, you know, a different experience. So that was a
Yeah,
big
for
part of
sure.
it.
That was a huge part of it.
Yeah.
There were many conversations had in the studio where we were like, this song would be perfect in an arena, or this song would be perfect at some big festival in the rain, like just an epic moment. So we started writing a lot of songs for moments like that.
So to me, it definitely has that. Yeah, how do you say? This bigger sound, like a lot of what do you call it?
What's the word in German?
Hall.
Yes.
Like a lot of room in the. It feels like an empty room and somebody snaps and.
Reverb.
No. Well,
Like anthemic, like we'll figure it
well,
out.
I got that. However.
Reverb is correct.
Like you're in a hall, like you're in a big
Okay,
hall.
so yeah, what you
Nice.
just said, we definitely have a more melancholic sound
Sure.
here. So, well, let's talk a little bit about the songs themselves.
Yeah.
So with Dirty Laundry, you released the first single of it, and that left your fans quite controversial about it. So I read like both sides, like really positive feedback, and also some like not like negative, but like
Sure.
what
Not
do
sure
these
what to
guys
think.
do? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So how do you cope with that? How do you deal with that?
I think you have to take it all in stride. I mean, we wrote the album and we wrote the song, and we knew. I mean, I love the song to death. It's one of my favorite songs we've ever written, and for me, it was one of those things. I think we all, before we put the song out, we all kind of knew that it was gonna split the crowd a
It
little
was
bit.
gonna shake things up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was sort of, we kind of wanted that, you know. I mean, again, going back, we've been a band for 14 years, and
It makes some people think that they
Yeah.
might like, okay, well, this band is still around, but they don't stick to the poppy party song, so they like grown up.
I think
Yeah.
that's a big part of it. I mean, to us, it's, you know, we don't want to keep putting out the same song over and over and over again, because I think while that would be fun for the people that have listened to us for a long time, and we appreciate them, and we still write some of that music too, so it's not like we've gone away from it completely, but I think a big part of it would just be, I think All Time Low would become stale, and we don't want to become stale, because I don't feel like a band that needs to go back and write Dear Maria again.
But it is a risk, right? It is a
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But you have to take risks, you know, especially this, like Alex said, this deep in your career.
Yeah,
You know, it's not only for our fans, but for yourself.
it was
Just
really...
make things different.
Yeah, it was really important for us to try some new things. And so, yeah, we put that one out first, and it's kind of the first part of a story that we're building in this
Okay.
record. And it definitely, it definitely ruffled some feathers and stirred the pot a little bit, but I think that was a good thing. I think it got people, like you said, it got people thinking, it got people talking, and you know, just, wow, I didn't know All Time Low could go there and do that. And so it's fun to kind of shake things up.
yeah.
It
Like,
kind of, you know, when we first released Weightless, we kind of went through the same thing.
Yeah.
People were like, this is so
Yeah.
weird, and like there's electronics.
and now it's everybody's favorite song.
Yeah, well, when it came out, you know, there was a lot of hate because we used electronic drums, and at the time that was different for us. But you know, it became our band and it became our sound, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's what I feel about Dirty Laundry in this album.
You can't be afraid to take those risks, because, I mean, it's, you know,
And maybe you also gain a complete new crowd with it. So like right now, there's mostly the younger crowd, but as you grown up, maybe your fans grow up with it, and you gain some like older people with it.
yeah, we've definitely seen an interesting mix of our fans now in the crowd. You know, there's definitely some younger fans, and then I think there's generations, which is cool.
So you have the song "Good Time," and there's a passage saying goodbye to the old, and then there's "Nice to Know You," which is closing with one more band before we break. Is that like a hint on you growing up?
Sort of. It's, you know, I don't know that it's necessarily self-reflective about the music, but that's an interesting tie-in and
Yeah,
an
that's
observation
what
that
I
could
got
be
out
made.
of it.
Nice. That's awesome. It's really about those stories of actually growing up, about, you know, leaving your old hometown and realizing that it's time for you to branch out and try new things and see new things. And I think there is maybe an interesting parallel with the music as well.
There's a very nostalgic side to the album.
Yeah.
Listening to Life of the Party reminds me, sorry to say, but reminds me like a lot in the song Last Night from Brief Carolina. Is that like did that on purpose or what is it?
No,
I don't know that song.
I don't.
You should
yeah.
listen to it. It's like seriously, it has like the same kind of melody in the beginning and like the whole lyric thing is like, what? Stop. What is this?
Interesting.
I don't know, but-
I've never listened to them, but
Yeah, well, I can understand.
I'll check it out. That's cool.
Okay. So with Ground Control, you did another song with some big room electronic songs, and you also got Tegan and Sarah in.
Yeah.
So how was it to work with them?
Amazing. They're so rad, and you know, it was kind of a funny story because we didn't really know them. We wrote Ground Control, and I knew that it sounded like it needed something and someone. I sort of wrote it as a duet. So with that in mind, we started sort of brainstorming who, and they
We
came.
threw a lot of names out there, but
Yeah.
that was kind of one that we were always.
They were at the top of the list,
yeah.
but we were sort of like, but we don't know them. How are we going to do this? And at the end of the day, we just sort of took a shot and sent them the song and sent them a message being like, hey, we love you guys. Would you want to feature on this? And it turned out that they were sort of also fans of ours, and there was like a mutual respect there. And so it was really cool getting to know them, and they were down to do it. And it was perfect. When we got them on the song, it just felt right. So it kind of brought everything full circle with that one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of my favorite songs.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
What was
Same.
the other one? Drugs and Candy, like these two are mine.
Nice.
Can you name a favorite song for yourselves? Or is it like picking a favorite child and you can't
I mean,
do that?
especially this early in the process, because you know, like 2 years from now, if you ask me again, I'll be like that one.
Yeah,
easily.
okay.
But like,
We're gonna talk
It
again.
is kind of nice to pick a favorite song right now because no one's really heard the album. So like you don't have outside opinions yet. You just have
but
like.
she's heard it.
Yeah, I know, but like.
Well, I don't know shit.
But like fans haven't heard it yet, and it's kind of nice to like it's like our album right now. You know, it feels very close to us. So
Yeah.
it is kind of nice to listen to it from without any kind of outside opinions. And I do.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty nice.
So we're gonna talk in 2 years again.
Yeah.
So yesterday I had a day off in Bruges. I think it's in
Yeah.
English. So do you get like sick or bored of always visiting the same towns like for a day off? So because usually bands in this area they will stop by in Amsterdam, Brussels, Cologne maybe.
Yeah.
Well, what made you pick Bruges?
Yeah, we went out of the way-
sightseeing and stuff.
Yeah, we
did
went out of
sort
the
of
way
out of
to
the
go
way.
to Bruges. In Bruges is one of our favorite movies,
Great
and
movie.
and it's also like a town that
Well, you didn't die.
I
right.
didn't die.
My parents like told me about it years ago when they visited Europe, and it's a place that we've always wanted to go. So
My mom actually lived there.
Oh
Oh,
wow,
really? I didn't
it's
know
a
that.
beautiful city.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. So yeah, it was. We've been to Brussels. We've been to Amsterdam.
Yeah,
so
that's
like,
what I mean.
We've kind of like I love those places too, but we've done it a lot, and so it's kind of like yeah, let's go somewhere new, and it's insane. It's a beautiful town.
Okay. So what do you do just before you hit the stage? Is there like a crew shout thing or anything like that?
We typically we actually on this tour we just started doing this. We got like we have a practice kit backstage and a bunch of amps now and stuff. So a lot of the time we'll actually just kind of get in the room and jam together a little bit.
Yeah, that's
So
fun.
we play music before we play music.
a lot of sing-alongs.
And so a lot of the time we'll put on other people's music and then just like learn songs, which is kind of fun to do. Our cover repertoire has gotten a lot better because of it. So we can play every band now.
Okay. What do you do for your afterglow?
Ooh. So usually drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to put it into basic terms.
Well, let's call it drinking.
Yeah.
Couple beers.
That's all right. And last one, a message to your German fans.
Hi. We love you so much.
I wish we knew more German. We should know German at this point. We have to. You
Yeah.
can. What did you say this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Perfect.
But that's not my message right now.
That is our message for all the German
My message is
fans.
good morning. No, just thank you for always being there for us. You guys have been one of the greatest places to us, and from early on, you embraced All Time Low. So thank you for doing it, and we'll see you a lot more this year, hopefully.
And
And Guten Tag.
no more.
Good morning. And good morning. Good morning. Morning forever.
Right. Thanks a lot, guys.